Hello, my name is Wendy, and I'm a survivor of encephalitis, an acquired brain injury. My presentation is called Brain Injury: How Long Does It Take to Recover? Often, people's experience regarding illness and injury is one of temporary incapacity followed by a gradual return to normal. When people are ill, they go to a hospital and get better. If a bone is broken, it's reset and put into a cast. Therapy assists the return of muscle strength, and after a few months, the limb again functions normally. Recovery from brain injury takes a different pathway. If yours was a traumatic brain injury from physical impact during a car accident or similar, then the visible injury is probably now healed. People may imply that they think you're pretending or striving for attention. They might say, "You look okay. You must be okay." Some people will really refuse to believe that there's anything still wrong with you. Recent studies have focused on brain plasticity, also neuroplasticity, the ability of your brain to recover, repair, and strive to regain functionality that has previously been lost. What researchers have found is that there is no limit or deadline to brain recovery. I'm going to say that one more time. There is no limit or deadline to brain recovery. When a skill or ability has been lost due to brain injury, therapists have proven that through repeated therapy, new links in the brain can be created, allowing the brain to show more potential for recovery. The most dramatic recovery post-brain injury often happens in the first 6 to 18 months. When I was being treated back in 1999, my family were told that I would improve for a year or two, then not much improvement would happen after that. In the year 2001, which was 2 years past my injury, I was still having severe emotional issues, and I certainly could not consider traveling anywhere all by myself. But I did continue to improve after that year. My first solo travel was in 2007, 8 years after my illness, when I flew to a brain injury conference in Nashville, Tennessee. It went well, and I've traveled alone often since that time. One professional explained it to me like this: think of your brain like a road map. A thought is like a car following the simplest route. For example, to drive from Vancouver, Canada to Los Angeles, California, the simplest and swiftest route is the I-5 highway southbound. The impact of a brain injury is like having that I-5 highway totally destroyed. It's not impossible now to reach Los Angeles from Vancouver, but you must find a new route, a longer route, perhaps zigzagging across Washington State and California State, to make the connection to reach Los Angeles. But with time and practice, you may still reach your destination. A good friend and encephalitis survivor overheard this analogy and responded by saying, "Of course, not only must one find a new route, one must become confident that that new route will eventually lead to that destination. It's sometimes a long, long slog through unknown territory. In addition, one must learn how to look for those routes in the first place. Also, once one finds a route that works, one must decide whether that route is comfortable. Finally, one must be able to remember the route and use it again in the future." Improvement often seems to follow a 3 steps forward, 1 step back approach. A flurry of improvement may be followed by a step backwards. Brain injury survivors are notoriously inconsistent in their progress at all stages. They may make progressive strides forward, do nothing for a while, then unexpectedly make some more strides. Something new in their life, a new home, a new friendship, a new therapist, or a new hobby or interest, these can spark progress as well. Also, that do-nothing stage is often a time when the survivor is becoming more accustomed and more comfortable using their newest knowledge or ability. The brain is actually working hard behind the scenes to secure new thought pathways and make them permanent. With changes In your daily functioning come changes in how you perceive yourself. It's quite a psychological blow to your own ego, going from being a highly functioning person to barely managing your daily tasks. After a brain injury, you often feel that you've lost your identity. You're no longer fulfilling your role as an office worker, a truck driver, a parent, or whatever. It's hard to be certain now that you really have any value to others. It's difficult now to know what to talk to people about. And when you try, you often forget what you were talking about halfway through a sentence. People may argue with you and say, memory loss? That's nothing. I forget stuff all the time. To which I reply, yes, you forget things 2 or 3 times a day. I forget things 2 or 3 times an hour, every hour of every day. This problem makes some survivors angry. They may say that they're frustrated, scared, or hurt, but deep inside they're angry. What did they do to deserve this? Who can they blame this problem on? This is just not fair. Our family, friends, and caregivers, they're also angry. Of course, they should not be angry at us per se, but rather at the situation into which they have been thrust. Many survivors will understand this as they see friends and family members drift away. Caregivers and loved ones probably also see this as they lose the support of the people around them. Hopefully, each of us can get past the anger and find some patience. Anger is exhausting and really does not help us move forward. You will grow to understand that your brain does not completely heal in weeks or months or even in years. You will see that you're nevertheless getting well, sometimes more profoundly than you imagined ever possible. Anger points your emotions to the places you're still struggling. Patience opens the way to more progress. Personally, I got very little information from doctors about my prognosis because every situation is different. Even though this is true, it is easier to function when you've had some idea what you should expect. This is where interacting with other brain injury survivors can be so extremely helpful. Knowing what others have gone through makes it easier to set realistic expectations and goals for yourself. During my recovery, I learned that I'm at the center of my own emotions. I accepted that what I have lived through is horrible for myself and horrible for the people around me. Nevertheless, this is my life. A friend actually gave me a new nickname, Wendy 2.0. I've learned to appreciate and accept the help I receive from family and friends. They're actually making this journey with me. I've learned to appreciate and grow from the unexpected compassion and support of strangers who actually barely know me. A good friend, an encephalitis survivor, once shared his excellent outlook on life when he said to me, I have moved on from blissful ignorance of my disability through overwhelming anxiety, resentment, and anger to gratitude for what I have left, what I can do, and what may still grow fuller with time. It can get better. One word to think of is the word courage. The dictionary gives the following definition. Courage is the quality of mind or spirit that enables a person to face difficulty, danger, or pain without fear. Brain injury requires quite a lot of courage. Courage to continue on through pain and sickness and confusion, courage to try new medications, courage to face the unknown trial and error nature of our treatments. For family members and caregivers, courage is needed to keep a brave face when their loved one is struggling, and to resist being overwhelmed by frustration when they have so many questions and cannot find the answers. The real test of courage is in our daily lives. Courage is a wonderful thing to see. When I give this presentation in groups, I tell them that just the fact that they're sitting listening to me today tells me they have courage, because it would have been simpler and easier to stay home. Life after brain injury affords ample opportunity to be courageous in living your own life to the very best of your ability. When brain injury causes limitations in your life, your choices and decisions become the stuff from which your courage emerges. In the process of meeting life's challenges, You've learned and you are continuing to learn how to meet your fears and move beyond them. Perhaps you don't think of yourself as particularly courageous or even confident. Maybe it's time for you to take a closer look. I'd like to read a short piece of prose which I wrote after being ill. It uses the phrase post-E, which means post-encephalitis. When I give this presentation to a group, I give each person a small bag with 2 marbles inside. The presentation is called You Are Not Alone. I felt at times I'd lost my way. My life became so blue. I thought I'd lost my marbles. I think others thought so too. Post-E, I lost things all the time, forgot my where and when. I couldn't be left home alone, couldn't find a spoon or pen. My husband and 3 children, it hit them all so hard. To lose their wife, their friend, their mum, it caught them all off guard. Now I know, despite the odds, my marbles may be few, but please remember here and now life can be damn fine too. So keep your marbles close at hand and hold them when you need to recall you found this evening support and friendship guaranteed. Thank you very much.